Welcome to episode 14 of the Soul's Kitchen podcast. I am with Heidi Bieber, Holy Fire Reiki healer and sound healer. Wow, that's quite a title there, Heidi. I
Yeah.
got it out this time without
Well,
mixing up.
almost.
Almost, did I?
Almost.
Holy Fire Reiki
Fire
healer.
Reiki
Did I
Holy
not?
Fire Reiki Master.
Reiki master.
Sound
Oh my
healer.
gosh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
That's so important.
That
Reiki master.
there's a
Yes,
lot there.
there was a little bit,
Yeah.
and I almost got it. Sorry about that.
No.
Okay. So tell us about that. Tell us about yourself. I see you have a gong behind you, so we're gonna
We'll
talk
talk
about
about
that
that.
after.
Yes.
So what got you into healing, into holy fire, Reiki?
Well, even
Uh,
just the beginning of Reiki it's probably been 12, 13 years ago that I started to hear about Reiki and started to research Reiki. And there was a few people in Fredericton at that time that was doing it. Yeah, and I just started picking away at different courses and got my levels for Reiki Master and did Holy
okay,
Fire Reiki, which is a whole different type of Reiki as compared to the UC Reiki. The UC Reiki is the Reiki where you go around and you feel the energy and line up
right,
chakras and all of that sort of thing. But the Holy Fire Reiki is a guided meditation. And
okay,
yeah, there's some really nice meditations that's used. It's very powerful. So yeah.
right.
And then I
And
picked up other courses along the line for Reiki, palliative Reiki,
mm,
grief Reiki, and yeah.
yes, I know you do some work in those areas in
Mm,
the city. So we're in Fredericton, New Brunswick. For anyone who's watching, maybe from far away, you never know. But
exactly.
have you ever done a virtual Reiki session with someone?
I have.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And I
So
can
that
share that experience too.
okay.
Um, it was with a senior lady who n- wasn't doing well. She was quite sick. She had been
Mm,
in hospital, had been in bed for some time. And so she was laying in her hospital bed, popped in some earbuds, and
mm.
she laid there while I did my thing. And within a short time of the session, like I said, she had been in bed for 2 weeks, hadn't got up, hadn't done anything. And within a half an hour of the session, this woman got up. She had a bath. She could get her hair done, had her makeup, ate a meal,
Wow.
something that she hadn't done in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Wow. And so how did
Yeah.
that make I mean, I know she felt good after, but how did that make you feel?
Like, I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
even put it into words. Because when I do a session, I set the intention that the
Mhm,
person receive the healing that they're meant to
mhm.
receive.
Okay.
So that was the healing that she needed. She needed to be given that energy to, you know, do
Right.
these everyday things that we do.
So can you go a little deeper into how it actually works? Like I'm imagining it goes I've had some sessions with you, so I know how I feel. Very deeply relaxed and pretty really amazing afterwards.
Mhm.
Um,
Typically
what
sleep pretty good.
Yep, yep. What's happening inside the body? If like I know it's a sound, it's like a you use sound.
Mhm. Quite a
Do
bit.
all Reiki healers use sound? I don't think so.
No, no, I don't
Oh,
think so.
so
Maybe
you
to a degree with different music and that music could have
right.
different frequencies in it that's healing, because that's healing too, to go on
It is.
YouTube and listen to that
Yes.
sort of thing.
So
I
you
don't
mix
think it quite has the effect of being in person.
no,
You don't really feel those vibrations like you do in person,
right.
but
But
it's still helpful.
it's
It
helpful.
definitely,
But
yeah.
you use sound as well as the Reiki. So the
Yeah.
sound is working together. So that's quite powerful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they basically kinda all do the same thing, but maybe each instrument also has something else too that
Mhm. And it's the vibration, just like with the Reiki too. And I'm
Right.
just
Vibration and frequency and all of that sort
frequency
of
that
thing.
reaching whatever part of your body kind of needs it. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that?
Reiki goes to where it needs to go,
Like it
sort
goes
of
where it needs
thing.
to go. I love, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. So
Mm.
I see you have a gong behind you. So you want to talk about that?
I want to talk about
It's
my
quite,
gong.
yes, talk about your gong, please.
So yes, this
Yes.
was quite a journey to to get this, but I got it, and
Mm,
here it is. This is called. It's a 36-inch Peisty symphonic gong.
wow.
Peisty is the brand, and they're made in Germany.
Hmm.
36 obviously is a size,
Hmm.
36 inches, 91 centimeters, a meter, 3 feet, whatever.
Okay,
So it's
wow.
quite large.
Yeah.
So I
Uh,
can give it a tap
yeah.
here.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of healing benefits with this instrument.
So talk about that. I know I had a session with you with the gong, which was pretty amazing. I felt super like a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Super, super relaxed after. Like I
Hmm.
was almost a zombie. I
Yes,
mean, in a good
it's
way.
hard to
Just
come
like,
out of that.
yeah, but what is that gong doing? Like think you said a little bit to me that night, but now I can't remember because I was in a sleepy mode.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, met a lot of the instruments have all of these benefits, but the the gong, I don't know. There's something about the gong. So all of this can help with um, mental illness,
Mm,
grief, trauma, uh, all of these things. This is a tool that can help you cope in life. That's
right.
how I like to see it. But actually, I'm going to quickly talk about. I have another gong, and I had an experience
Okay.
giving a session with my other gong.
Hmm.
I had someone on the table, on my Reiki table, and I'm playing the gong. Rewind here a little bit. I had actually been having quite a bit of anxiety and this sort of
Hmm.
thing, and did some research and found out that that's actually quite common in menopause and that sort of
Mm,
thing. So this particular day, I'm in a session, have someone on the table, and I hit the gong. I was sitting on the floor, and there was a vibration that came off the gong. It hit me in the chest. It
mm.
knocked me over, and I
Wow.
was like, what just happened?
Oh my
But
goodness.
it released that anxiety. It was crazy, like amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
amazing.
it is. It's a very powerful instrument for sure.
So
But with
you,
this particular gong, I
hmm,
have all these fun things.
oh, wow.
These are called friction mallets or
Okay.
flumies, and they are literally sticks with rubber balls on the end,
Hmm.
but they make some pretty crazy sounds too.
Yes. Do you want to give us an example of? So you can do that on the big gong as well? Oh, that's gorgeous. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm gonna
almost like,
turn.
yeah, I don't know if it sounds good, but it doesn't sound the same, I know, as it would in person, but
Right.
it's sort of like you're in some kind of sci-fi or like vortex or something. That's
Yes,
amazing.
and that's a good point, Lisa, because yeah, it sounds different when you're actually in that deep
Mm,
state of meditation, doesn't it?
it
It
does. And
some of
it
the sounds can be a bit daunting, but when you are in that state, it just seems
right.
to push you deeper. And that's what the gong big part of what the gong does too. It
Okay, it helps push you.
into that deep state of meditation, and
Mhm.
that's where healing happens, real like serious healing happens, and that sort of thing. But
And why is that, Heidi? If you wanna elaborate on that? Like, so when you're in a
because
deep
it can
relaxation.
happen either. It does happen either way. I just feel like there's there's something about being in that deep state because you're not thinking of the
Right, you're
grocery
sort of
list and what you have to
right
do next and that sort of thing. So the gong really helps to keep you present.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like your body's able to receive more when it's more relaxed. So you're not like tight like a
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. So if you're tight and but that's what you do too. Like somebody can come in or whatever they're dealing with and you get them into that state, right? With Reiki and then you start
Mhm.
using the instrument. You
Start
haven't go
starting
ahead.
with conversation. Often we
Yeah.
have a conversation, and that can
Mhm.
trigger things and that sort of thing, and kind of lead us to where the work needs to be done, that sort of thing.
Right. And is there a time limit or you just kind of do it as long as it kind of takes?
A session? Yeah,
Mm.
it's an hour.
It's an hour.
Yeah.
And do you do anything before a session to get because I know when I enter your space, it feels like you've already done something, I can tell.
Mhm. Yes,
Right?
yes,
Yeah? Okay.
yes. I
Yeah.
always smudge. I smudge around the Reiki table,
Right.
and, I sent the intention that
Mhm.
the person that receives the healing that they are meant to receive. I call in their loved ones and, loved ones in heaven, spirit guides,
Right.
ancestors,
Mhm.
all of that sort of thing to be a part of the healing as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
Mm.
So you work with grief and mental illness. So what started you on that like path specifically?
Well, for grief, it was my own personal experience,
Okay.
losing my dad. That was my first real experience with grief, and grief from a loss of a loved one anyway.
Mm.
And realized just how there really isn't much out there to help cope with grief.
Mhm.
So when I realized that this could help with grief, I thought that was pretty.
So at the time, were you getting sessions yourself, or were you that was the time when you started becoming a practitioner?
No, it would have been before that. I
Okay.
did go for a session myself, um, but yeah, I wasn't doing it as much as I am now. So,
Okay.
because this is beneficial to me too, doing,
Well,
giving
that's
a
was
session.
another question. When you're
Yeah.
doing it, you're also receiving. Yeah,
Right. I know
that's
because
pretty
I
cool.
often get asked
Mhm.
oh, it must be so draining, and no,
Mm,
that's kind of, it does keep
yeah.
you feeling good. And I mean, yes, I've had some experiences where there was a lot of information shared, a lot of trauma, that sort of
Okay.
thing. Yeah, that is can affect me for sure.
Mhm.
When you
Yeah.
hear of people going through some real difficult times and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so you have another instrument that I want you to share too, if you don't mind. Is it the
The Koshi chimes?
the Koshi
Yes.
chan? Because those are really cool too.
Yes, they
Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
So these are the Koshi chimes, two of them. There's four. Each
Okay.
one represents an element: earth, wind,
Okay.
fire, and water.
Okay.
And I use these during the guided meditation.
Mm.
And that's where we go through the woods and the water. And so they're really quite magical.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like those a lot. Could people get those and bring them into their own home and just have
definitely.
them yeah? Okay.
Etsy. You can get them on
Yeah.
Etsy. Yeah,
Etsy? Okay.
yeah. And you
Um,
can get them for all your chakras too.
right, okay.
Mhm.
So if you wanna align kind of your
Yeah.
chakras. Um, so where can people how do people find you or do you how do people find you?
Well, I have a Facebook page. It's just
Okay.
Reiki with Heidi. That
Mm,
would probably be the best way, or just to find me on Facebook.
right.
Uh, yeah.
And like you said, you can do a virtual session if someone can't. And
Hmm.
and how would that work? Like the lady with in the hospital bed and were you like virtual like this kind of in the room
No,
with her?
no, she
Oh,
was on her phone. with,
Oh,
yeah, just like, yeah,
just
like
listening
a,
to her phone.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. And yeah, it's so amazing because I don't know. I wish more people could find out about Reiki and
Yeah.
or experience it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It people, yeah, there can be some there have been some amazing experiences that people have had for sure.
Can you share a story that maybe if without giving anything away of the person about like something that like this woman who got up and walked and did some things
Mhm.
after she was in the hospital bed for a bit?
Yeah. Um, Another one just recent was someone that was coming to me and had been, when they first came, had their first session,
Mm.
talked about, I can never say it right, but it's the ringing in the ear. When people get that
Tonight
ringing,
is it
tinnitus?
tinnitus?
Is that okay?
I don't know.
And, we know what we're talking
Yeah,
about. We know what
we
it
know what it is. Yeah.
is. Um, they noticed that after the first session that the ringing in the ear, it was gone.
Wow.
And yeah, and then they came for a few sessions and missed a few weeks, that sort of thing. And then when they were coming back that week before coming back for another appointment, said how the ringing in their ear was starting to come back. And then
Mm.
after this person messaged me the next morning to say that the ringing in their ear was gone.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you just don't know where it's gonna go, I guess, the healing, like, just it's gonna
You
go, like you said, where it needs to
were,
go.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People feel, will feel different things in a session. They may
Mm,
feel heaviness on their chest. You're going to feel heat from my
mm,
hands.
mhm,
Um, just, and then some people will talk about that their feet are freezing or they're
mhm.
freezing. Often, if you get off the Reiki table and you're frozen, which some people do,
Okay.
like you just, it's like that, this cold that's inside.
Right.
That's typically an emotional healing.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, so there's an emotional healing too that
Wow.
can come from this.
So it can go as deep as I guess people need it to go.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
And
Um,
that's another thing too, like when people look completely different from when they walk in to when they leave, often.
I know what you mean because I think it's sort of like having a really good sleep. I know it's not the same thing, but you know how you wake up from that really good sleep and
Mhm.
you're rested. I feel like right for me when I go to a session with you, it feels like I just had a really great nap.
Right,
For
like the
lack I mean,
best sleep of
the
your
best
life.
yeah, I mean, other things have happened, but I mean, that's sort of
Mm,
how I can like frame it in a little
yeah,
sentence. Like it's just like a deep, deep, relaxed sleep, which is
mhm,
we all need more sleep.
right. But
Yeah.
it's not sleep, it is a
No,
state of meditation. Yeah, and people will be like, "I fell asleep." And I'm like, "Did you
I
still
yes.
hear everything?"
Mhm. I know what you mean because I know what's going on, but I feel like I'm not paralyzed, but almost just
And
dead on
some
the
people will
table.
feel that.
I wanna
People
say
will
dead on the
feel
table. Yeah,
paralyzed.
just but it's more than it's not paralyzed. It's like you don't feel like uh, what's the word? Confined.
Right, it's not
You're
a
just
negative feeling.
no, it's like a
Mm.
really deeply relaxed. Yeah, that's and sometimes I know when the session's over and you're gonna, like, come, bring your
Bring
awareness
your
back,
awareness to the present.
and I know that but it's just like, I can't move, when they
I
say,
can't
"Move your
do it.
fingers and your toes," and you're just kinda moving your fingers and you're thinking, "How am I gonna get out of this?" But because you don't wanna get out of it, really.
Yeah,
Yeah. Have you ever had
exactly.
a you should have Reiki sleepovers. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good
Oh, that would be
idea.
fun. Yeah. Um, I have some questions that I ask everybody, when I have them on the Soul's Kitchen, and I thought and there's another question that I've added to my repertoire of questions. So the first one I'll ask you, because the Soul's Kitchen comes from I'm a cook, and it was like, now I wanna know what's cooking in people's soul. So I'm gonna ask you,
Nice.
what is there an ingredient And it doesn't have to be food. It's just, is there an ingredient that keeps showing up in your life, or that's purposeful in your life? Like, some people might say peace or whatever, but is there something, there's an ingredient for the secret to life in your work, in your mind? Sorry to spring that one on you, but there
No,
it
that's
is.
okay.
And it,
Something I feel people's energy.
mhm.
So I am very particular who I share my energy with
Okay.
and share, their energy with
Mhm.
me. Um, yeah, because I can feel that, and it doesn't always feel, even with
Right.
people that it should feel right, it doesn't.
I understand. Okay, so energy, I guess, would be that ingredient for you. Okay, that's really
Exactly. Yeah.
cool. I like that.
Energy. Mm.
Um, and what brings you the most peace in life, would you say?
Not being around people.
Or certain people's energy? Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Okay. What's the biggest lesson do you think you've learned in life so far?
My biggest life lesson. Not to not to argue. Walk
Mm,
away.
mm.
Don't We don't always need to have the answers, you
Oh,
know?
yeah, it's interesting you say that
Sometimes
because yeah. Yeah,
sometimes
sometimes
it's
you
just
stick around to the end, it's not worth it.
right. And or people think that they need more of an answer or not seeing
Mhm.
what the answer is.
Right.
I don't know, it's kinda hard to
No,
explain what I'm trying to say,
no,
but
I think I know what you mean. When you said that, I thought the same thing. It's like I used to want to know all the reasons why or something
right,
happened,
if a
and
friendship and
mhm,
a romantic,
mhm.
relationship ends or whatever, we just seem to want to have all the answers, like,
All the
why?
exactly, right.
And that's
No,
ego.
okay, that's ego. Yeah,
That's ego, like, "Why did they do that to me?"
right.
Whether it's a
Yeah,
friend or whatever,
yeah.
but we all
No,
have free will.
that's true.
Mm,
And sometimes not knowing is an answer in itself. Just you don't have to know. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's really good. Okay, so those are the 3 questions that I've been asking. I have added
Those
a
are
4th.
great questions.
Thank you. I have
Great
a 4th
questions.
question. You're the
Mhm.
first for this one. You ready?
Yes.
Um, what makes you feel most alive?
This.
Okay, the Reiki,
Doing this.
doing
Yeah.
that, yeah, okay. And I guess
100%.
okay, that's good. I think, they're kind of all similar in a way, but the questions but anyway, so you like
Mhm.
my questions?
Yeah, love them. Great
Awesome.
questions.
Um, is there anything else that we didn't cover that you'd like to say about Reiki or about what you do, um, or have we covered
Mm,
it?
Reiki is pure, unconditional love and
Hmm.
nothing else. It's love.
Aw, that's
It's
beautiful.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is. Reiki's beautiful.
it is. Aw, it is beautiful. I love it. I love going to you. You're amazing. I said that to you. You have a gift. You
Thank you.
certainly do have a gift. So I hope people who are meant to find you will find you and you can help them with their healing. Heidi Bieber, thank you so much.
Thank
Holy
you,
Fire
Lindsay.
Reiki Master. I had to say that. I got that right. And
Yes.
sound healer, and you
Yes.
are a healer. Thank you,
Thank you.
Heidi. Thanks
Thank
for being
you.
on the show.
Reiki
Take
with
care.
Heidi on Facebook.
Reiki with Heidi on Facebook. And they can all and this will be posted on YouTube. So hopefully people will find you and
Mhm.
away we go. Thanks again, Heidi.
Thank you.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.